And I believe we are live. Always really hate that delay. I'm just checking the audio here, just making sure I can hear everything, making sure you guys can hear everything. And I believe we are live. Yep, good, good. Really hate that delay. I'm just warming up the space. I know I didn't put this one out as any update, so no one knows that I'm going live at the moment. But so we'll just warm up the space and let everyone get in on the live feed. I have various news updates for everyone, which is going to be good. So I'm just making sure everything's good. I can see people jumping on the stream, so that's everything's working. It's good when things are working. Good morning, Tom. Thank you for being here. Got some interesting news updates on various projects for you. So we're just waiting for a couple more people to join in. I'm just going to tweet this out. If I had a little bit more time today, I would have just prepared the thumbnail and everything else around it, but no, you can't always do that. All right, there we go. Tweet that one out. Okay. Hey there, S. Hervey. Good to have you here as well. Where are people calling in from? Or streaming in from, I should say. Always good to get a bit of an idea. Now, I just put on my side cam as well. A little bit unprepared today. I will have to crop this a little bit on the post-production side of things, but that's okay. There we go. All right, so let's get into the news for this week. Hey there, Robert. Good to have you there from Hawaii. Tom, from Germany. Awesome. I always catch the end of the day in the US there. You're still actually probably on yesterday, aren't you? Is it the 23rd there still? Southern Cali, New Zealand. Tony, nice to have you here as well. It seems to be a good time. All right, let's get into these news updates. So first off, a little bit of an update from our own stake pool. This epoch is going to be quite a nice one. We have an allocated 71 blocks, which is really high for us for the amount of stake that we have. So I think we're at 81 or so %, and we're going to hit that 71. We've lost a couple of slot battles here, unfortunately. So that always happens, especially when you get to a really high saturation. You have to compete with these blocks with other pools that are minting them. But hopefully we might get the 69. We might lose a couple more, but it's only a couple of days left. Not much at all, actually, and our pool should be like hammering out these blocks. I'm going to get a lot of notifications soon for the last sprint of blocks that are being produced. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. These 62 million delegates that are active at the moment are going to have a nice payout. I'm always happy when the luck factor is on our side and the delegates happen to be really high in there. So congratulations. Now, I wanted to bring this up because this whole thing here, the SPO vote now, the K and the min pool costs, it's been going on for a couple of weeks now, and the debate's getting more and more heated. Now, there's some cool stats here. Like I know a lot of people out there, they're not really following this as closely as you might want to be. And that's because you're not a stake pool operator, you're not involved in the community itself. But this cool site here, this is one of the sites, Cardano Scan does it as well, but it has a visual representation of how the poll and how the votes are all going. And you may have seen your stake pool operator put out these screenshots and comment on where they're going. It's interesting to see where things are, and you can actually see who and what pools cast their votes and the direction that they go to. So it's really interesting on how that's all flowing out at the moment, or how people and pools are voting. So it's pretty interesting to see. Let me just double check here. Yeah, okay, cool. So if we go here, this is answers by pool stake. So this is how much stake is delegated to the various pools. This is probably the most popular one, that's most vocal, but you can see the really big pools are pushing up some of these other votes here. Now, I don't know which one is the right one, and there's a lot of scenarios when you play this out. Will it work? Will it not work? A lot of people want this particular vote here where K is increased to 1,000. So that means it changes the saturation level of limit of the pool. So at the moment, our pool, this is going to affect us. So if K is increased to 1,000, that means the total saturation will go from 68 million to half of that. So, 34 million-ish, somewhere around there. I've probably got the numbers a little bit off. So that means this extra 20 or so million in delegation on our own pool would have to move on, And that's kind of sad, because this 60 or so million is actually a representation of all the delegates that have built up over time. And I think from the last check, the head count was around 6,000 wallets, just over 6,000 wallets. So it's basically a community of 6,000 or so people that have delegated to our stake pool, and some of them will have to move off. Otherwise, you lose your rewards. The higher the amount of delegation on a pool that is over the limit threshold would mean that you need to move your delegation off. So if this whole voting thing ever comes into play and the results from this are actually taken into account, there are some things that delegates really need to be aware of, because increasing K to 1,000 will mean more stake pools out there are required, and it will mean delegates need to move off the various stake pools that they're on. So if they're on a stake pool that's at a higher saturation, 80-90%, you need to move on. So it will really have a big impact, and some stake pools will be drastically affected by that. The other thing here, the 178er, which is the min pool cost. So this for those that don't know, it's the amount of rewards that a stake pool operator can take. Now this will be reduced. If K also increases to 1,000, it will also mean the amount of rewards that the pool gets will be reduced. So let's say it's about half. Roughly, we get about 650 ADA an epoch, so that will be reduced down. Let me just pull up the calculator here. So 650 minus 170, 480, and then maybe even less than that. So we might be looking around 300 ADA per epoch to pay for hosting costs. So I really don't know how the economy will work out for that for hosting stake pools. So I'm really, if that decreases down for me, the ADA price of ADA needs to go up. Otherwise, I'll be paying tax on top of that, taxable income, and then the stake pool operating costs roughly $400 US a month. So I won't be able to run any test nets or anything around that, or any cheaper hardware. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this one all plays out. But anyway, people are pushing for that one. Smaller stake pool operators are trying to get in there. And just checking on the live feed chat. Yep, hey, Alberta, Canada. Hey, Julian, nice to have you here. Il Folini from Texas, and Al Muslim, nice to have you here as well. So you can check that one out. You can see adastats.net/polls, and you'll be able to get to this particular page. There's only one poll on at the moment, so you can't miss it. But you can check and see where that's all going. We have not casted our vote yet. We're on Discord at the moment trying to engage with the delegates. I think we've had maybe 4 votes. So it's hard to rally the community to try and get this kind of information out. But I just wanted to see, here we go. This is where you can see who has voted and how they have voted. So some pools, this is a multi-stake pool operator, has voted for no changes. So it's just interesting to see where things are going. It's unfortunate also to see a lot of vote shaming. So I don't know, it's just part of a passionate community. You can see where people and what people are voting for. So this is a multi-stake pool operator. What are they voting for? Keep things the same. So, it makes sense. It makes economic sense to, if this is the most profitable choice for you and to keep your pools running, that's what you would have. These pools aren't completely saturated, but it's in their best interest. Wow, they got a high margin as well. How are they attracting so much delegation with such a high fee? Don't know. Anyway, it's all about the competition here. All right, next news item here. This one here is around the whole governance side of things as well. So this is the CIP-1694. So if you're in some various places around the world, you'll be able to participate in some of these meetups that are happening. And these meetups will look into how governance is going to play out on the Cardano ecosystem. So these CIP-1694 workshops will look at different ways to vote, different ways to engage with the Cardano community and have the future of governance come into play. So a lot of these are coming out at the moment. This is all before the big workshop in Scotland, where in mid-July, where they'll be looking at IAG, I should say, we're looking at all the feedback from the community around the world and looking at the various different ways that communities can possibly vote. We did try and set one up here in Australia, but we were a little bit late in rallying up people, and there didn't seem like enough interest. Maybe that's just how things are here in Australia. Just checking the chat. If you guys have any questions that you want to throw at me, feel free to ask away. It's an interactive session here. My next news update here, this one is around interoperability, and this is becoming a really hot topic, and it's not just a big hot topic within the Cardano ecosystem, it's also getting really big in various DeFi spaces, other blockchains as well. They're all talking about the interoperability and connecting other chains. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But this one here is the WalletConnect. So if you're in the Ethereum space or any other blockchain, WalletConnect is really, really common. I might just pull up a website here where I know WalletConnect is connected, and hopefully you can see it as well. Just move this one back. But WalletConnect is a really common way where you can connect to a dApp, a decentralized application, and WalletConnect connects to various different dApp wallets across different ecosystems. And having just one connector to do all that, it has a standard and it makes it really simple and easy. And here, the DC Spark team have put together $100,000 for developers in the Cardano community to get this integrated and share a part of that. So there are some limits. I think they've done it for Flint Wallet already. So DC Spark have done that, which is great. And I think there's a limit on how much each company can get. I think it's roughly around $15,000. But then if more and more projects get into it, that's the limit. Their share will be reduced based on how many people integrate it. There's an application form. So if you're building a dApp in the Cardano ecosystem and you want a share of this for integrating in WalletConnect, go ahead, do it. I highly recommend it. There's a lot of documentation around here. There's this Medium post that was put up. There is a SDK, software development kit. The form is here. You can get to it there. And also the SDK is a little bit further down. I saw it somewhere before. Here it is. GitHub link called ADALib, and you'll be able to integrate that in. And here's that integration. Yeah, 15,000 is the limit for each applicant. So that's a nicer way to share out the whole amount of the grant. So deadline for integration is the 31st of July. So if you are integrating this in, please make sure you keep that in mind. Wingriders have already integrated in. I don't know if they went live with it yet, but let me just pull that up and we'll see. Blueshift here. Blueshift is a DEX, portfolio-based DEX built on the Milcometer chain. But if you connect your wallet here, you can see WalletConnect in the top right-hand corner there. So you can use WalletConnect on most EVM chains already. It's pretty much a standard. And I'll just pull up Wingriders here, and I'll see if they've got it connected in the top right-hand corner. Whew, they got a lot here. There we go, WalletConnect in beta. That's pretty cool. Nice work, boys. Nice native Cardano DEX, first Cardano native DEX to have it integrated. Good work. So I'd love to get your feedback, guys. If anyone there is listening in on the live stream, have you used WalletConnect? Do you use it? Right, so there's the ADA-lib library, so you can always use that one there. Now, this one here is an update from TeddySwap. So TeddySwap are building a decentralized exchange that is focusing on stablecoins. So they're using the other stablecoin algorithm so that it's slightly more efficient, less slippage, and you have a little bit more liquidity to play around with when everyone's focusing on stablecoins itself. So they're getting a little bit closer. So this is a very short article, but they estimate the launch of their testnet within 2 weeks, which is really, really soon. So we should see something in mid-June in regards to that coming up on testnet. And then right after that, they move off to mainnet. So it's becoming very close for this one here. I did do an interview with the team as well, so you can check out the playlist, the DeFi playlist on the channel, and you can find out a little bit more about where they're up to and what they're doing. Chris, hello. Thank you for joining the live stream. This next news item here, this is around the Ledger Recover, this whole debacle around Ledger Recover and how they're handling this now. So the Ledger team last week, in the last news update I put out, said they're using this Ledger Recover service where it will have an update within your firmware on your Ledger, so your hardware device, where you can feed 3 various parties a sharded version of your seed phrase, so you can always recover your seed phrase if your device ever breaks. And it wasn't a good scenario for the entire crypto community, where they thought this was a secure way of storing your seed phrase. But with a firmware update, you can get that extracted and put online. So a lot of people weren't happy about this. So it looks like from the various sources that I've been reading, that firmware update has been pulled back. So you can't upgrade to that particular version of the firmware now. So that won't be rolled out. And they're doing a little bit more work on open sourcing their white paper and everything else around it. So that particular solution is more community driven. So and people know exactly how it works, as opposed to trusting a third party. So it's probably the best approach. So they are listening to their community and everyone that is using their hardware devices. So hopefully we will see less and less people pulling out their hardware devices, their Ledger Nanos, and smashing it with hammers or torching it or burning them, whatever they've been doing. I think it's a little bit extreme to go through that intense process. But you can see here, this particular AMA here on Twitter, 14,000 people tuned in, and that number keeps on going up. So I'll put a link to it in the show notes so you can find out a little bit more about what's going on there. It's an hour and a half, so it's a little bit long, but you can always press 1.5 times or 2 times to get through it a lot quicker. Now, wow, this has been cool. And I will actually pull up DeFi Llama as well to actually have a look at this and see where Cardano is sitting at the moment. But Minswap had its highest day ever in terms of daily volume. So it hit over that 30 million ADA in trading volume, became Cardano's top 9th chain in terms of DEX volume. Minswap had 87.24 volume amongst all Cardano DEXs, which is massive, really. It's market dominance. And Minswap is the top 17th DEX across all chains. That is absolutely incredible. Really, really cool to see those kind of stats. So we'll just pull up here. We go DeFi and we go chains. See where Cardano is sitting at the moment. It's always nice to check this. 17th, there we go. So last time I really checked on this, we were down like 20, 21, 22 or something like that. So it's nice to see that slowly creeping up. This is all the maturity of DeFi at the moment through the Cardano ecosystem. So we're slowly seeing this creep up and overtake a lot of the existing chains out there. Algorand, where we're pretty much pushing up as well, catching up to some of these other chains, and be good to see it come up even closer. Now that other one there, they said by DEX, or what was it? Cardano became top 9th chain in terms of DEX volume. I don't know where that is in DeFi Llama. Yeah, DEX volume, governance, bridges, fees, stables. Yeah, I'm not sure where that is, but it would be good to pull that up. If anyone in the live stream knows, let me know. Drop a link. Be kind of useful to pull that up. But yeah, that's absolutely amazing. And now, I put this all down to, there we go, Snek. All these meme coins that are out at the moment. But, there's one really good aspect around this. And this is the new people that it's bringing into the ecosystem for the very first time and using some of these DEXs for the first time ever. So it's really cool to actually see this. So just did my first ever order on Minswap DEX this morning. Obviously, it's not much as I'm learning about DEXs and only invest what I can afford to lose, right? But such an interesting time for the Cardano ecosystem right now with meme coins starting to take off. So yeah, I do see value in that in regards to onboarding new users. Unfortunately, not unfortunately NFTs are fantastic. I have way too many NFTs, but unfortunately meme coins are a bridge way for a lot of people to get into DeFi. Doge, I think, was a really, really good example because it is so cheap. You don't need to spend much and you get a little bit of exposure to it. And this, like meme coins like Snek, Hosky, and all these other ones, Dean, they're kind of gateway cryptocurrencies, tokens to get into the various ecosystem. So I don't hold any of these meme coins myself, even though I said I did. I don't. Trust me, I don't. I'll just pull up this tweet. I put this out. Now, just so that you guys know, when I do my Twitter schedule and put things out, I actually sit down on a Monday and do all of my tweets out for about 2 weeks. So anything that you see me tweet is actually all pre-scheduled, except for some of the things that I interject and add in every now and then. I can't find the tweet now, but somewhere in here I said that I bought some meme coins. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. Okay, I bought some Snek, but I think I missed the pump. Now I'm down 50%. So that was just a guess of where the market will go 2 weeks before I said I even bought something. So it's a marketing method. You just schedule everything here, and you talk about a particular thing that's trending. And yep, Snek did work. How many likes? 226 likes, lots of retweets, lots of quote tweets, and lots of quote tweets, a lot of quote tweets saying that was completely wrong. Yeah, it was. Yep, hilarious. But a lot of people picked up that I was only being sarcastic about it. So all good, all good. So let's go back to this. So yeah, we can see here this particular AMA that came through Summon platform. 1,900 people tuned in to listen to how you can lock up your Snek on their platform and start staking on their platform. So a lot of people are interested. Now, in terms of talking about various AMAs, this one here I did the other week with Ryan from Newm, and we were talking about the various updates through their protocol, their project that they're building at the moment. So it's always good to catch up and learn and find out what's going on, especially from the horse's mouth. So Ryan managed to go through a whole lot of things. I could only stay for an hour because that's all I had allocated, but they kept on talking about and answering community questions as well. So these guys, it's so interesting to do the parallels and comparisons. One hand, you have Snek and all these meme coins that are attracting so many users and increasing Minswap's daily trading volume to such high degrees. And then you have projects that are building these amazing projects and fractionalizing ownership of music rights on their platform, but they don't get anywhere near as the amount of traction as something as Snek does. So it's pretty interesting to see those comparisons, but project builders keep on building, and we'll all get there eventually. Now this here, I really have to mention this because I work for Blueshift. So for those that don't know, Blueshift is a decentralized exchange cross-chain protocol that are now evolving even further, and they're releasing their cross-chain swaps. So now you'll be able to swap stuff like NMaker over to Polygon. So you can have those various connections. So Blueshift at the moment is connected to Polygon, Milcometer C1, which is for Cardano, Milcometer A1, which is for Algorand, and Carver. So Carver is one of those blockchains that you don't really hear much about. But if we go back to chain overview, Carver is currently ranked 13 overall, with 113 protocols on it, compared to Cardano at 17th position and only 20 protocols. So it's one of those ones that you don't hear about, but are doing a lot of things. So it's always interesting to see. And yeah, we're definitely going to see a lot more interoperability with protocols such as Blueshift launching across all those chains and allowing for connections from the Cardano ecosystem to other ones and vice versa as well. So really awesome to see. This is being launched in a couple of days. So I think tomorrow. So one more day after this, and they'll be launched. I'm just a little bit ahead of time here in Australia. But that is really super exciting. We do have an AMA, so if you are interested in learning a little bit more about the protocol, bring your questions. It is at 1 p.m. UTC today, so anyone in Europe, it's really suitable for you guys. A little bit early for the US, but you might be able to catch it. So check that one out if you're interested in learning a little bit more what DC Spark have to offer, Milcometer has to offer, and what Blueshift is bringing in regards to cross-chain interoperability. Now, this all comes about from EdCon. EdCon is an Ethereum-based conference that happened in where was it? Montenegro. Some Montenegro over the weekend. So we had some interesting topics, conversations, and Vitalik was there presenting about a particular idea and concept around integrating all of the L2s on the Ethereum space, so like Arbitrum and Polygon, for example, and their liquidity is all split across all those ecosystems, and having a platform and protocol such as Blueshift, which connect all that liquidity together, kind of encompasses everything around their DeFi ecosystem. So Ethereum will get a little bit more connected and integrated if there is a protocol that can do it, and Blueshift is looking like it will be able to do it by the end of summer for the US, Northern Hemisphere, I should say. So it's pretty exciting to see where things are going overall in the DeFi space and crypto space. So we're having a lot more interoperability happening. I do believe it's the future of all cryptocurrencies. Having different chains to be able to talk to each other, and then we can build things on top of all of it and take advantage of all the different technologies that are available. So it's super, super exciting. Gaiki, nice to have you here as well. It's always nice to see familiar names in the live chat. So thank you for always being here as well. Now, this one here, I did miss out in the ISPO update that I did a couple of weeks ago. Mayz is a portfolio protocol that is building on the Cardano blockchain, so it's a native Cardano one, very similar to some other ones that are building, but they're going through their ISPO at the moment, so you can earn some of their tokens. Please do look at their tokenomics and their vesting schedules and everything else around it. Some people weren't too impressed with it, so check out those details. You can find out a little bit more about how they work and how much potential rewards you can get from this particular ISPO. It's always good to check all of them, but Mayz, I do have to give them a shout out. They're building some really interesting things there. Now, I only have a few more news stories for you guys for this week, but I thought this one was quite interesting. This is put out from the Chinese community, and I'll just pull up Wu Blockchains here. So he tweets a lot about the cryptocurrency space. But according to the requirements of the Hong Kong government, the token purchases by retail investors need to be included in 2 major indexes, which is the minimum requirement. So the following tokens are the tokens that will be listed in the first batch of Hong Kong compliance exchanges. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, so some of these Hong Kong exchanges will pick up some tokens. And what was the minimum requirement? 2. So it has to be on 2 major indexes already. So here he's broken down the various indexes that this is possible with. And we can see here Bitcoin, yeah, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, fair enough, Polkadot, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Polygon, and Chainlink all meet those requirements. So will we see these coins and these tokens actually listed on within the Hong Kong compliance exchanges? Maybe, maybe only Bitcoin and Ethereum will, but we could see a boost in regards to that if they are listed. I know the whole point of this thread was, let me just go back one. So Chris here mentioned a lot of Chinese nationals are hyper-focused on protecting their capital, especially with the various crashes and things in the other ecosystems, such as Evergrande, that massive crash from the housing market, and people losing so much money there, and then people losing faith in their banks as well. People are always looking for different places where they can protect their income, have a better investment, and cryptocurrency is always an option. And having this there could be an option. This is pure speculation. No idea if this will this is actually true, if it will actually happen, or any of this background information around Chinese nationals being able to actually enter the Hong Kong market as well. So interesting to see. But if it does happen, I suspect there might be an increase. So there's always an increase when there's news like this. So we'll just wait and see. Hey Paul, awesome to have you here. Always nice to have familiar names and faces, and good to catch a live. Yeah. Ryan Plugins. Hi, what's up? Thoughts on Charlie 3 for long term? Hey, well, funny you say that. I just jumped off a call from Damon, actually. I'll just pull up the Charlie 3 website. Ended up on the Git book. Charlie 3. There we go. Struggling typing today, guys. Sorry. And it's probably not .io, is it? There it is. Okay, cool. So this is the Charlie 3 website. They're an Oracle service, ADA USD feed. I think they've got ADA Shen or USD Shen, one of the two. I am liking some of these updates and things that I'm hearing. So just a quick recap. So what we talked about first the bridging aspects of their tokens. So they're working on their bridge very soon. The other aspect was the version 3 of their protocol. So they're up to version 2, which was an upgrade to Vassal hard forks to make things a lot cheaper and a lot more cost efficient and whatnot. But then also moving to version 3, which is becoming even more secure for the protocol. So putting in all those extra security aspects on their protocol so that they can finally decentralize their node validators and more people can actually run their nodes. So in terms of that, I'm pretty bullish on, because it makes their solution even more decentralized. Damon also mentioned that there are customers that are lining up to use their protocol, but they have to wait to version 3. I think the timeline that he mentioned was roughly a month. So yeah, pretty excited where they're going at the moment, and if they do get those extra customers using their protocol to provide that decentralized data, absolutely amazing. So it's definitely looking good in regards to their development and timeline as well. So yep, I'm pretty excited about C3. Do you have any info on Anzen's? Oh yeah, okay, USDA launch. How do you think it will affect the DeFi and Cardano? Julian, I haven't seen any more information on it. USDA and Zens. Just pull this up. Okay, all right. It's not come. I hate it when it doesn't come up. Just trying to find references so that people know what we're all talking about here. But this is probably the best one here. I got some various news articles all over the place. But this is what we're talking about here. So Emergo are working on building out this USDA. I've not heard anything. The last thing I heard around this was that they're just going through their security audits and checking things. So there's a particular Twitter user who's named Tyler. I'm not going to find it now. yeah, I really have to dig to try and find some of these Twitter accounts because I'm following so many. But he works at Emergo and he gives updates in regards to USDA, and I haven't heard anything else around moving forward on that at the moment. How will it affect the DeFi space? It will, I think, will open up a lot of opportunities because it is a regulated stablecoin. It's one of those ones that is needed so that some markets can actually be entered. So having that regulation does work, especially when you're utilizing it for a USD stablecoin. So it's kind of important. The other interesting one, I just did a interview with this team. So I had Clarice join me on this one, and this is the Tracercoin concept. So it's really interesting how they're going to put this one to play because you don't use a stablecoin that's pegged to the US dollar, because the US dollar again is subject to inflation. So if the US government decides to pump out and print more US dollars, then the inflation increases. So I don't know what the US inflation is at the moment, but it's increasing. Or the military aid that's going out, or the COVID response that went out in the previous years, a lot of money was printed there. So having a different stablecoin that you can trade against, really, really interesting. And this one here, it's instead of having the Tracercoin match a fiat-backed currency, it matches a particular benchmark or index, and they're using the Green Sustainability Index, which generally increases by about 1 or 2%. So that's their first Tracercoin that they're going to use. So really interesting concept. I'll probably wait to see how it works and see how it all comes into play. If you are interested in this project here, you can participate in their CGV launch, and how to participate. There's lots of information here, but on the Cardano ecosystem, they're launching with the Genius X protocol, Genius X launchpad, I should say. So there's lots of information here. I haven't gone through any of that yet. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, check out the interview. There's about 3 or 4 different interviews that are going around at the moment about it, and then people are asking questions from all different perspectives. But yeah, it's the token launch is only for 24 hours, which is quite interesting. So if you want to get into it, very limited time. Mark, good to have you here as well. One of the channel members. Always good to have channel members around. Just finished watching the Cogito interview. Very cool. Yes, very, very cool indeed. I'm pretty excited about it. But I may buy off secondary markets afterwards. I hate having to KYC and everything and whatnot. So we'll wait and see. But that's it in terms of all the news items that I had for this week. So thank you everyone for joining me on this live stream. It's always really good to do these lives. It makes it a lot easier, less editing. There's always a hiccup here and there, but it makes it a lot smoother and less time for me. Now, just a reminder, there are all these different AMAs that are going on at the moment. We have the one here with, where is it gone? I can never find it when I want things. We have this AMA space with DC Spark coming up today. There is also another AMA later this week with Wingriders as well. I think, Paul, you're on that one, aren't you, Paul? If you're still listening in. Let me just pull that down here. I'll get the time for this one. It's Friday. It's Friday 1 a.m. for me. It's that ridiculous time. There it is there. So 3 p.m. UTC on the 25th, if you're interested in that as well. But we're talking about bear market fading and bull rising. I'm probably the worst person to talk to about that, but I'll join in the conversation and see what's going on. Blockchain Maxi, love your content. Thank you for all you do. I did chat GBT, what Cardano would look like if 25 top cryptos were sidechains to Cardano. Wow. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yep, Thursday evening for you, Paul. Yes, it's probably a lot better time for you compared to me. So Blockchain Maxi, is there a reference to what you're talking about? I would like to follow up on that after. Julian, thanks, Pete. Keep up the great work. See you next time. Not a problem, Julian. Thank you for being here as well. But that is it for me this week, guys. I'll wrap it up there. Again, thank you everyone for joining in on the live stream. Thank you for all the members that have signed up. Not just subscribers that clicked on the subscribe button and subscribe notification bell, but actual members on the YouTube channel. It makes a huge difference. Earning that little bit of extra income really helps support the channel and keep things going. So I'll see you all next time.